What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh 1.
and today we're about to do the mash, the monster mash, because I guess Halloween is coming up soon.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess it's something, right?
Oh yeah, that's this weekend, right?
It is, yeah. For the longest time, I feel like Halloween is getting overshadowed more and more by all the Christmas stuff on like stores and commercials and stuff like that. It's like, whoa.
Yep.
Give it some time.
We need to celebrate it more. But that's what we're going to do today in the greater. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. Also, if you enjoy this content, you like us talking about Warhammer 40K lore, you can support the channel by hitting us up with a super thanks down in the description or above the description. And that is what?
Silver Breeze has done. So thank you for supporting the channel. Now his question is, do you guys know why Guilliman chose Belesarius Cawl to lead the Primaris project? I believe at the time, Cawl was relatively young. Was he that influential already? Because according to the wiki, he was born in the early 31st millennia, same time as around the Primaris project request, which is confusing. Anyway, thanks for the amazing content.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Belesarius Cawl was a loyalist, which, if you remember during the Horus Heresy, Adeptus Mechanicus, they betrayed the Emperor.
Half of them did, at least. But the Fabricator General is the one that allied with Horus.
He's like the main dude.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, it's kind of like the Emperor was left scrambling, like, oh shit, like, who's my point of contact? And through that whole entire process, old boy Belesarius Cawl, which was actually young boy Belesarius Cawl then, he stepped up.
Yeah.
And made a name for himself kind of thing.
Right. At that point, he looked nowhere like how he does now, because he was still kind of more fleshy than pretty much being a freaking monstrosity of machine that he is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he knew that since Guilliman appointed him with such this monumental task, he had to step up to the plate. Because, I mean, it's not just every day that a friggin' Primarch says, hey, you're going to be the one to create the, Astarte point 2.0 or whatever.
Right. So it's happenstance. He got kind of lucky, but not really.
Yeah. The one question that I'm really surprised didn't happen or wasn't brought up was in those 10,000 years that Cawl was working with the gene seed of all 20 Primarchs and empowering it and making it better. Why didn't he decide to unleash them during the fall of Cadia? Or no, not the fall of Cadia. The what's that one huge?
The Reign of Blood.
There you go. Yeah. That would have been instrumental in, making things ready for the Imperium to be better.
Yeah.
And
or
instead
yeah.
Instead it's nah, I'm going to let all this horrible stuff happen. I'm going to wait till, we're hopeless. There's no other option. And that option was having Guilliman actually come back and then say, hey, do it now. Because what if he never came back?
I agree, and then that really highlights the power of Guilliman and the power of, or not even the power, but how closed off so many elements of the Imperium are. He was an Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest, or Magos, so it's one of those situations where he didn't want to showcase his strengths, because it's no, I'm going to do it when it's most convenient to me, and then all of a sudden Guilliman came out and it's well,
do it now.
Yeah, so he's okay, I gotta.
Right, and that's even after knowing Guilliman had his throat sliced with a poison blade and he was in stasis, because if he was out of stasis, he would die.
He could have been a bad boy.
But nah, he chose to be the real one.
Yeah.
He's the father that stepped up.
Right. Next question.
Next question is from Ben Williams. Which standard unit in the lore is supposed to be the best 1 versus 1 duelist, not including that of the Emperor, the Primarchs, the Demon Princes, or any other named character with plot armor?
So not all the best ones?
Yeah, pretty much. More of Howling Banshees, Imperial Assassins, Drukaris, Custodes, etc.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's really tough because, it depends on the named character, and it depends on, the lore, because, Assassins obviously are the best number one.
They have to be, because they were pretty much taken as orphans and trained in the temples for one specific reason and one specific reason only.
To kill.
Yes.
But then at the same time, you have Inquisitors, which are pretty tough, badass dudes that can actually kill planetary governors and all that kind of stuff.
Not just that, but then you have Necrons that could literally defy physics. So what does it matter if you're the best hand-to-hand fighter if they're just gonna phase through all materials, reach into your heart, take away the trachea, the aorta, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a scary world out there in 40K.
Yeah, so I don't think there's one lone thing. Because at first I was going to say custodians, because like they're the emperor's bodyguards. They have to be the best at the best. But then you think of like witch cults, and it's like they're fighting in the battle coliseum death pits of Kamara against like any and every slave they capture. So they could be fighting against orcs. They can be fighting against a captured custody, like an Astarte. Like it depends. So I feel like there's really no one best thing. Because even witches, like you see them, like they're all about close combat, and like they die to like normal Astartes.
Right. Yeah.
So, or Harlequins. Or Howling Banshees. That's what I meant.
It all depends on the story.
It does.
This next question comes from Juan Jose Mendivil. Can you give us a quick update? What happened and what changed in 40K? There are still people who didn't know the butthole, the Eye of Terror, in the sky just turned into a giant butt crack, the Great Rift. Yeah, like I guess starting from the fall of Cadia. So Cadia was invaded during the 13th Black Crusade. Abaddon was not good, like he did not succeed. So instead what he did is he took a Blackstone fortress, rammed it into Cadia. That created the destruction of the pylons on Cadia, which created which allowed the Eye of Terror to rip across what is it called? Ultima Segmentum?
Yeah.
So from the Tempestus to the Ultima Segmentum, that created a split between the galaxy. And then Guilliman was resurrected by some Eldar with the help of Iniad. And then brought back to life through his power armor, kind of. Because they knew that he would be the one to kind of, I don't know, counteract this Cicatrix Maledictum chaos that was happening. And then what happened after that?
The Great Crusade, or not the Great Crusade, the
Battle of Terra, or the Second Battle of Terra or something, when Angron attacked Terra.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, like, because when I think about 40K and the timeline of 40K, like there's so many things that like seem huge and important, but like ultimately never really changed anything. Yeah,
so like especially the Demon Primarchs coming back. Magnus attacked Guilliman, but was just defeated. Guilliman coming back, but then just still kind of staying put.
Yeah, it's like, oh cool, all these things are back, but how does that really progress? It doesn't really. It still feels kind of like stagnant. Oh, there's a new war in this sector of the galaxy that changed nothing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's been going on. So battles everywhere. The biggest thing is the Cicatrix Maledictum, so Chaos being a little bit more powerful, but not really.
Yeah, because I mean, have they pushed the Imperium back? Not really.
No.
Have they taken control of space in a different sector? Not really.
Or yes and no.
I mean, yeah, but like,
it's not like Fenris is gone. It's not like Cadia's gone. Kind of.
You used to have Cadians though.
Yeah.
I don't know. When it comes to the timeline and major events,
it's a pain.
It is.
Good question, though. Next one.
Winter's Wrath. Has anybody ever stolen or earned a piece of weapon, war gear, or armor from a chaos god or worshipper that wasn't already a worshipper of a chaos god, apart from that sword that Farsight has?
I was going to say that one.
Yeah. Well, we don't even know officially if it is chaos. It could be Necron tech or Old One tech.
Which it seems more like it would be Old One tech.
Yeah, a sword that grants whatever life they kill from a living being added to the life of the wielder.
And no corruption.
Right, that we know of.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing is the blade. What's it called? It's the sword that speaks whispers, and it's like a demon weapon that the Grey Knight, Castellan Crow, has.
Oh, yeah.
The Black Blade of Antwer. I think that's what it's called.
But, I mean, they knew about chaos.
Yeah, I feel like if anybody has the most chaotic relics, it's got to be the Grey Knights, because they're all about being anti-chaos, anti-demon, so...
Maybe even the Death Watch.
Yeah. They're more Xenos, though.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Digital weapons isn't like the rings. Well, no, there's some chaotic rings, weren't there?
I think you're thinking of like the red lanterns and the black lanterns and all that.
No, but I thought there was one for because there was a inquisitorial like Ordo that did something.
Was it? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Next question. This will be the last question.
Okay, here's one by Magic Eye. So we know that the Imperium of Man uses the light of the Golden Throne to travel and navigate through the warp via the Astronomicon. But what about the other races? So the Tau, unfortunately, haven't perfected space travel to that extent. They can't do faster than light travel. They kind of skimmed around this with the Star-Tide Nexus, but that led to like chaos, just obliterating them and making them go crazy and stuff like that. So the Tau don't really have something like that just yet. When it comes to the Necrons, they're way above and beyond that. They are like the most technologically advanced superpower in the galaxy. The Tyranids have those, what are they called, Narwhales, which are like living ships that literally bend reality to progress through space and time.
Yep.
The Eldar, they got these huge city craft worlds that are like planet-sized. Yeah, so the craft worlds are their means of locomotion, I guess you can say. Webway, too.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't forget about that. What else are we forgetting? Greenskins.
So they go through the warp just like regular. They don't really like. They usually take Space Hulks or Steel Space Hulks, and hopefully there's a Geller field on there. If not, they also have teleporters, but that's usually like that happened during the War of the Beast and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the orcs are alright. If anything, they'll like fighting against chaos anyway.
Yeah, the Bug Boys. And then Narwhals.
Narwhals, yeah.
That's pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the Imperium, we all know how that works. Geller fields on their spaceships. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let us know if we're forgetting any huge factions. And yeah.
Yeah, and those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Thank you for the super thanks, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, as always, keep those questions coming, and we'll keep on answering them. This has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.